he's going to put the turret on top of the pot plant. Always a favorite. Lots of threats, though, in this roster, again, for Athletico. So they're kind of going with the same sort of idea as some of their previous compositions. Defield obviously not playing Widow or Hanzo this time, but it's the same thing, right? He's just another angle that Ground Zero has to be aware of. Boy, straight over onto Genji. So I suppose we're going to be seeing a Winston here from Mini. And straight away, back to dive.
Let's see how this one plays out. Let's see what Defield can do with the Torbjorn. Not much in the way of shields to work with here. But just that one more threat to deal with, isn't it?
That's right. I mean, they're not going to try and keep the turret alive. It's more so there to be a distraction. So when Ground Zero is trying to put damage into that turret, then Athletico can try and accomplish something else where it's not going to be a case of, oh, we need to keep the turret alive, otherwise we lose this round. You've got to remember, Defield is a character in and of himself. So you almost consider this like 6v7 until that turret goes down, which it now has, but it's at the cost of Dubois' life. So that's a 1-for-1, now a 2-for-1 in a way. And of course, the further that goes, it snowballs harder and harder.
Now Gus is in a bit of a difficult spot as Dalsu does go down to Quad J. Nami does go down also a little bit later on in the piece. And look, we spent a whole minute even getting to that first fight, Jordan. Like, that was 1/4 of their first objective time gone.
Well, now the information is there for Ground Zero as to what they're going up against and maybe where those turret placements are going to be, so they've rotated their composition accordingly. This turret, it's not going to last long against a Pharah.
No. Will not. Wuvo has the rocket barrage available, however.
Boy does love his...
See you, Mini. Goodbye. Quad J getting ever closer as well to the EMP pass zone. That's his available.
Nami's pretty close to the EMP too, so we're getting there on both accounts.
Oh, see you, Nami. All right, halfway.
My question is, where does the turret go now that they have a Pharah? Is it gonna... Oh, it's down there, I see. That's a very nice place to have the turret when you're going up against a kind of a spam comp, because it's really difficult to dislodge it from there.
It might even force the D.Va to turn around.
I mean, you have to commit to kill that turret as opposed to sort of just spam it.
And all of a sudden the D.Va's there, and all the EMP comes through from Nami. That sees Wuvo go down. Design and Paso both caught out as well.
Too late, I think, from Quad J. See if it turns anything around. Wuvo does get picked back up, but it's at the cost of Mercy's life. This is not good enough from Athletico. They needed to be the ones on the offensive. They needed to be the ones starting the fight on their own terms, but instead they give Ground Zero too much room, and Ground Zero uses that to execute straight in onto the point, and that's round over, at least on point A. Now we head into phase B, and Ground Zero begin the push.
Yes, the payload moves through the streets. I always ask myself, Jordan, how can these big Numbani tour buses make it around such tight corners? The hack comes through onto Dubois. Almost goes down, surely goes down, no. Gunther coming through with the Mercy heals. A lot of heals per second. That is quite convenient, actually. Guan Zhao and Ground Zero both having GZ.
That is very indeed. Well, Dubois has a rocket barrage. He's going to get slept in the middle of it, but not before Defield goes down. So I'd say that's a decent amount of value returned for the investment of an ultimate. Particularly a fast-charging ultimate like Rocket Barrage.
Winky face
Who's
indeed.
spamming Winky face?
Yeah.
Stop it! There'll be no Winky faces here.
Payload continues on. Ground Zero find themselves a little bit of momentum as Gus drops off the edge to get the remake back in.
And we're back to standard for Ground Zero. Sombra Goats for them, and, well, Sombra Goats for Athletico as well. And is it fair to really call it Goats at this point when 2 out of the 6 have changed? On also not necessarily standard.
EMP hits 5. Quad J, the first one to go down as well. The nade also coming out there onto Athletico, but for them it won't make that much of a difference. Promo Rage popped by Passo and Mini. We'll see who comes out on top. The payload, you can see, 150 short of the checkpoint now, only 1 meter away. Atletico are going to be forced to contest here and do what they can do to try and slow this down. You'd think that this should be enough, and with that EMP, will that be enough? Yes. Paso goes down, the beat is dropped, I'm not sure. I guess they want to commit everything they can, Elfishguy, try and keep this one going.
As
and they should, theoretically, be able to win this fight.
Well, that rally from Dubois is doing a lot of work. They can't chunk through all that HP, and even despite a Graviton Surge and an EMP combo, Ground Zero only got 1 pick lost in that entire fight. Atletico really needed to do more. Now they're running out of abilities, and they're not going to be able to use any more anyway. EMP's across from Ground Zero, and that is going to be the end of the fight. Payload connects onto point B even before the fight was over. I think Atletico need to go back to the drawing board there because the execution a little bit lacking.
Yeah. Payload moves forward, 2:15 on the clock, heading towards the third and final checkpoint. It's part of Numbani. Not a bad result, to be fair, here for Ground Zero Gaming. And Mini dives on in, holds the left click. The Primal Rage will be available, but the hack comes out, and that sees Winston go down. Perhaps not expecting that one. Thought being able to just hit the Q and be free to go.
Self-destruct is going to go in from Gus. This last one didn't do a whole lot. This one as well. No real damage onto Atletico. Decent Graviton Surge, but again, no follow-up there for Atletico. So, continuing to put the ultimates in, but just not getting the reward for them.
Mini lurking, waiting. Primal Rage available. Of course, doesn't want to get hacked up like last time. The Nano Boost also available here for Dowsu. Comes on out. Starts this one off with the left click as the, well, not really making the most, I think, of that Nano Boost, to be perfectly honest. Primal Rage getting popped at the end of it. This one now working out a little bit better. Wuvo does go down to Nami.
Oops is still hanging on to this Transcendence though. So this, yeah, but I mean, this fight it was always going to be a loss for Atletico after you saw those first couple of picks. So I'm glad that Goobs hasn't invested the Trans there. Does give Atletico a fairly solid shot at actually defending this point C. 40 seconds, all it takes is one fight, and with a Trans to start it off, that's huge for Atletico. They need to get some value out of it. They need to find a pick early before Ground Zero builds their own ults. But Jay's got EMP as well. It couldn't be a better fight for Atletico at this point.
Mini going to go down to Quant J. And this will allow Atletico now to force their way out. Nice, Shatter comes through. Gus and Nami both caught out. Atletico comes on through, and they're going to be looking potentially for a stagger.
Oh, you try and reset here as Ground Zero, but
yeah,
it's a bit risky.
Do you even have time to get back? 6 seconds.
Yeah, I think Mini will get there if he's got to leap.
Going to be forced to leap onto the payload and contest in just the last second. Quad J with a big 4-person EMP. Goobs with the Transcendence as well. You'd like to think this means, short of some crazy Gus self-destruct like we saw on Busan, you'd like to think that Atletico should be able to hold the payload where it is. Nami, though, over the top with an EMP. Hits 3. D-field the first one to drop. Design looking like it's going to go down as well. Wubo found out. Dowsu actually the one getting the damage. DPS Ana coming out from the support. Wow.
Just a bit disappointing again for Atletico because they really could have held that.
Yes. Surely you think at that point...
Never say never.
...they can hold. But who would have thought? The Ana coming through, the big plays, the big EMP as well, coming out of the Sombra. And somehow, Ground Zero managed to make their way all the way through to Objective C here on Numbani. And now the pressure is on Atletico.
Oh, certainly. This series has definitely turned a bit on its head. You feel like Ground Zero is getting a little bit the better of it in, obviously, Temple of Anubis, but here on Numbani, even to cap it out, fully finishing Numbani doesn't happen every day. Yeah, they just clutch it in the end. You'll be really kicking yourself there as Atletico. Well, now the onus is on them to ensure that they complete the map as well. Doesn't really matter how long they take, as long as they can get it done. They'll both get a crack.
Ready for battle.
D-field onto Widow to start things off on point A. Looking for picks. Oh, Not so sure how easy that's going to be against what we really see now is there's a bunker composition from Ground Zero.
With Mini sitting as well here on the Winston. Seen a bit of Roadhog lately as well.
I don't think Roadhog works as well on this point. The high ground is a little bit too high.
It is a little bit difficult, isn't it? And that's what I think the Winston does, give you that ability to reach places otherwise slowly obtainable.
I mean, the more important part of it as well, Ben, is that it gives Ground Zero the opportunity or the ability to contest the point without committing to the point, if that makes sense. So normally that would be the job of the Diva in any other kind of composition, but in this instance, the Winston is able to drop down, jump back up as necessary when he needs heals, when he's getting a little bit too under pressure, and it makes life difficult for Athletico in actually getting ticks on that point.
Problem with this particular perspective here for Dubois is, of course, potential for the Farah to cause a bit of a ruckus. Nice little hack. Will force Wuvo back for now. Defield, though, has managed to find Nami. And could this be the end of Dubois? It will be.
Was a pretty clutch immortality field, but it just doesn't last long enough. Dubois was in an awful position there. I don't know if he dropped down or if that was a concussion blast. I mean, I have to assume it was from a concussion blast, but how he ended up there on the point, I have no idea, and I'm sure you don't want to be on that position as a Bastion.
Nope. The question is, can Ground Zero Gaming hold out strong here? Wuvo goes down, gets picked back up again by Design Quad J under Gunther. And the picks all going in Atletico's favour. It is now only a matter of time. I'll get this one rolling. We're going to see some changes from them, surely.
Well, EMP for Nami does mean they have a reasonable shot of actually defending this, even though the rest of the ults are a little bit lacking. I mean, an EMP and then a nano boost onto Mini. It's going to make short work of these flyers.
Look at this. Nami uses the EMP, somehow stays alive. Quad J with his own EMP. Wuvo comes through. Finds one, eventually does go down to Dowsu. But Athletico find the picks they need and get the payload moving once more as Dowsu is found out. Good for the last one to get picked up. And now do we see changes? No? There we go.
Yeah. I think it's fair enough to just give it a crack with the ultimates available, and then if it works or if it doesn't work, then you swap off, and in this instance it's paid off for Athletico.
Did indeed. Making some pretty good time, making the way downtown.
True.
Getting ever closer to this second checkpoint.
Quad J's position, he's been very sneaky looking for a hack.
Mini into the back line, straight onto Goobs. Has forced to throw the nade on top of himself, but it won't matter. Mini. Oh, another great sleep comes through as well. And it's funny to think if Goobs had gone down, that sleep dart would not have been available. I'll see Goobs.
Doesn't matter though. Fight's over.
Yep.
Round 0, too solid on the defense of point B here. This is where Athletico weren't really able to hold Ground 0 up. So any time lost here is a major deficit because it is so difficult to push through phase C of this map. That if you go in there with like anything less really than it feels like maybe 3.5, 4 minutes, you're
the final objective is tough. Very tough.
Unless you have a lot of ultimates to, I guess, push through pretty quickly, but...
Quad J going to run to the thick of things, hit the Q button and pick up 1, 2, 3, 4 players with the EMP. Mini very, very low, stays alive. This is a Mini that has swapped across from the Winston to the Reinhardt and already on 70% of the ultimate charge. Gunther has dropped the beat as well, will allow Ground 0 to be even more aggressive here, find themselves a ton of ground as Paso.
Really want to see Gus get this self-destruct up quickly because then they can combo that with Nami's Graviton Surge, but Nami's going to have to throw it straight away.
Yeah. Oh, look at the damage coming out.
Damn.
Wow.
Quintuple kill. There you go. Team kill and the gong rings out. Ground 0 just doing it one better than Athletico did. Neither team really had the defensive support ultimate in the sound barrier. Ground 0 is the one that gets the damage out. Now self-destruct's up. You can combine that with Shatter. looking good here for Ground Zero. They may well actually hold point B.
Wouldn't that be a crazy wild ride if that were to happen? Pasto has this Earth Shatter available. Scoops has gone down first, makes life now very tough for Athletico. Once again, you're going to get forced back. Quad J does go down just before the EMP is up. They're going to be sitting on a, 4 ultimates available. But they're running out of time, Elfishguy. Is the real point.
Certainly are. Big one, though, is the EMP. So, again, you're going to look to start the fight with that one for Quad J, and then whatever Ground Zero has doesn't really matter at that point. Don't know exactly where Quad J is at this point, but you have to imagine he's looking for something.
Potentially the battle of the Earth Shatters, Jordan, as Quad J drops the first
only
EMP, and it only hits Mini.
But Mini does die, so there is that.
You'll take it, to be honest, if they can follow up with the rest. No Mini available means that you don't have the shield, means Paso could use his Earth Shatter quite easily, and it means you don't have to worry about Mini's Earth Shatter either. So Athletico, with the full wipe, will be able to push this one through.
Smart, though, for Ground Zero not to put anything in there. As soon as Mini's lost, they know that the fight is over. They just decide, okay, buy as much time as we can here by dying on the cart, but we know the fight's done. Still, in the grand scheme of things, 2 minutes to push in Phase C. I'm not feeling too confident here for Athletico, in all honesty.
Let's see what they can do with the ultimates they do have. 2 support ultimates, and of course, the grab available here. Earth Shatter coming out from Mini. Doesn't seem to capture anyone. The beater's dropped. That's forced out. Everything now into the pot from Ground Zero Gaming. The question is, will the food taste good? And Paso, the first one down. You'd think that surely Ground Zero win this fight, but they have used a lot to sort of settle everything down.
Yeah, that fight, though, almost assures them that this is going to go into an overtime worst-case scenario for Ground Zero. To get this in a minute 18 from where it is right now, it would have to be... I mean, it would have to be like a clean wipe. Probably 2 clean wipes from Athletico, one after another. I just don't see it being possible to cap this with time available. So if nothing else, Ground Zero have assured themselves equal footing.
Paso getting aggressive. Quad J with a nice EMP. Ground Zero in a bit of a pickle right now as the Earth Shatter comes through. Nano Boost also used there. But Athletico actually not a bad spot at all. They need to find their picks. They will. Gus going to get DMEC'd. Mini's been picked up.
It's not clean though, Ben.
It is not clean enough. No, they're not taking enough probiotics. That's the real talk. Graviton Surge comes through. Quad J caught out. Great work from Nami. Big plays coming through. And now 30 seconds on the clock with Pasto about to get slowed down. Also, look at this. The staggers coming through. This is going to be one very difficult fight now for Athletico to win.
I feel like this is unsalvageable.
Oh dear.
I suppose you have grab, you have trans, but even to get onto the point, you're probably going to have to suicide a player to get there. And like, who really can do it? It has to be, the Lucio. Quad J just gets there as well.
The benefit of the payload pushing so far back, Elfishguy, that you have time to get to it. Mini, one big shatter could make this all over right now.
And Self-Destruct might open it up.
All right, the beat dropped by Ground Zero Gaming. Gus with the Self-Destruct over the top. Earth Shatter used as well by Mini. Hits 1, 2, 3 Goobs with the Transcendence keeping the team alive. But Paso is gone. Not there. Can't play. See you later. Not enough time to get back into the fight. Quad J goes down. Deepfield goes down. Athletico goes down. Ground Zero with the win. Now 2-1 up. With one map remaining, they have the potential to take down the team currently sitting at the top of the scoreboard.
Yeah, and put themselves actually pretty close to the top of the scoreboard as well. Series is not over though. Havana up next. And I mean, you got to give a shout out, I think, to Dalsu there on Numbani. That was just crazy stuff from Hizana. And we know, again, I've talked about it so much. I don't think I'm a bit of a broken record, you know, like I keep talking about it. But
yeah,
it just seems like I mean, yeah, he's good on like Zenyatta, he's good on the aim sports, but there seems to be something else on Ana. You know, you just play this character, sometimes it just clicks. I know for you, Ben, you like to think it's the diva, but I don't know that it necessarily is. But you know what I mean? Like, he just seems to have something else when you see him on Ana. So it's actually a massive boon for Ground Zero that this meta is seeing us with a lot of Ana play.
Yeah. Ana's been making a bit of a comeback, and there's you know, there's a lot of versatility there as well. Not to mention even the ability to deal sometimes with those aerial threats. So could have been closer, most certainly. Nevertheless, Ground Zero will come out with the victory, and that third and final phase there for Ground Zero on defense. They look comfortable most of the way through. To be fair, it feels weird. It kind of feels like Ground Zero should never really have been able to get the payload all the way through to begin with. But even if they hadn't, where they did get it was still further.
Seemed like enough, yeah.
Yeah, then when Athletico were going to
see, in this fight as well, we didn't pick up on that during the actual live moment, but the reason that was such a clean, like, you know how it was two grabs straight up. The reason that was such a clean win for Ground Zero is a 5-man Bionade from Dalsu hits everyone in that grab. That's why they all died so fast.
Where did the DPS come from?
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, neither team, as I said at the time, neither team actually did have the sound barrier up, so it was kind of an even fight in that respect. But Ground Zero, they get the Bionade, and it's like, see you later.
See you later. So, there we go. Havana is next. Elfishguy. Athletico are going to be looking to bring this one back. Could we surely not have two tiebreakers in the same day?
Yeah, I'm not feeling
What
it.
a world.
I'm really not feeling it right now for Athletico. I think Ground Zero have been better from Temple of Anubis. Like Busan, definitely Athletico looked a lot better there. And when we saw that, we're like, oh, this series, you know, it's looking a bit risky for Ground Zero. But ever since then, I mean, yeah, Ground Zero have just come back into their own. They've been looking super solid. And for mine, they're looking like the better team. I think a 3-1 would be fairly representative.
Do you think is the change of money out gone to in?
Well, Contenders seems to be doing a pretty good job.
Does, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Georgie. I feel bad. But look, this seems to be a different Ground Zero lineup today than what we've seen. So, well, it is a different Ground Zero lineup,
yes.
Let's be real. But they seem to be playing better than they played before.
Yeah, look, I mean, week 1, they probably didn't hit the mark that they wanted to. Week 2, they definitely played well. Mavericks seemed to play a little bit memey, so it was definitely better for Ground Zero. But they are showing that progression, as you would expect out of a team that's just made those roster changes. So the longer we do see this Ground Zero team together and the more time that they have to mesh, I think is going to mean the stronger that they're going to get. And I still kind of think that they're a team that probably does deserve to be in the top 4.
Yeah. Well, the top 4 certainly is a little bit shaky this season, isn't it? Yep. It's a bit all over the shop. So
could go anywhere.
Which is exactly what you'd like to see.
Yep.
So nothing is set in stone. All right, guys and girls. Map number 4. Athletico up against Ground Zero Gaming. Athletico coming into this week on top of the leaderboard. They'd had a great start to the season, looking to make it 3 from 3. That would be a perfect start for them. Right now, they are 1 map away from losing. They need to pick up Havana, and then we need to go to Nepal, and they need to win that control map as well.
Looks to be Ground Zero starting on attack again. We finally get to see the May from Quad J.
What is this? Is it like a distillery? What does it say on the thing? I can't read.
Does look like a distillery, doesn't it?
But what are you making in here? What are you making Havana?
Anna's Bionade juice.
What does that say? I can't read that.
Yeah, it's probably not in English.
Oh, no. It's like the it's like Robotico, but it says Rumbotico.
I see.
Yeah. So maybe it's rum. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Elfishguy Ground Zero Gaming going to be coming out with the Orisa. Athletico with an Orisa of their own. They're holding a lot further back. That May wall coming out also. Nami, here we go on the Ashe. Potential for some good Ashe plays. And of course, combination with Duboy there. Potential for a lot of damage to come out. Really quite a different lineup to what we see from Athletico.
Yeah, I do enjoy seeing the Ashe. Obviously, it's going to make life difficult for those players trying to hide behind the shield when you've got an Ashe and Farah just wailing on it. But the shield goes down, the wall can come up, I suppose. And Athletico, this is not looking like a bad team comp. They haven't fully committed to that forward hold, but they're sort of still half committing to it. Turret won't last too long.
It's a nice little spot, though, for the turret. It kind of forces you to make your way a little bit further out, perhaps, than ideally you'd like to be playing from.
Oh, okay, Nami. Not sure what's going on there.
Oh,
Passo went so low for a moment there. But, like I said, shield goes down, wall comes up.
Yeah.
And then shield's back.
Dalsu, Duboy both close to their ultimates. To be fair, as is Nami and Mini. Athletico, on the other hand, they're going to get forced back most likely as these come through. Oh, over the top, and Duboy finds 2.
Oh, that's
but
a nice
2 are
shot.
traded back. Eventually, D-Field does go down. Ground 0 looking to get this payload moving.
Yep.
30 meters in, still quite a bit of distance to go, however. Bob now available here for Nami as well. Transcendence popped by both of our Zenyatas as Bob does come through. Oh, is that a sleep dart?
Of course. And
Easy.
Dragon Strike goes through as well. All of a sudden,
How can a robot even sleep, Jordan?
they need to power down to conserve energy.
Right. Don, rum body code.
Sure. Guess they need to drink some rum as well. The Omnix.
Supercharger comes out on top of the payload, but Wubo is going to come through here with the Hog. The Hold Hog almost available. There we go. Is
Not
available
necessary.
for use. Probably not needed. Never mind. Let's just throw it out.
Bully Dalsu, why not?
Just use it, guys. Who cares?
I mean, it does charge pretty quickly, especially when you're taking those breathers all the time and healing yourself up. And it's actually pretty nifty there for Athletico to hold and get another attempt at defending this. I mean, you're down now to a minute 13 for Ground 0. Time's starting to run out, even despite the fact that they've been doing pretty decent in terms of getting these fight wins. They're just not getting them where they need to, and that's allowing Athletico to get more fights out of this part of the map than you would ordinarily see. So time running out for them, but luckily they've managed to find the picks. Multiple core down, doesn't cause any problems.
Yeah, the Blizzard was used as well there. But I don't know if it even found anyone, to be perfectly honest. It's 1-for-1 trades going back and forward, but the payload will start moving through, and they should be able to get through the first checkpoint.
So a lot of time spent though.
It is a lot of time. Now 3 minutes to get through what was a little bit difficult for teams earlier on, I guess, at least now for Ground 0. They are able to find themselves a little bit more of a forward hold. Seems really quite dangerous to be fighting in here, to be perfectly honest.
Certainly does. Seems quite dangerous to be a Pharah in here as well. You're not going to get that height.
Nice little Dragon Strike comes through. Wubo goes down to Nami. Ground 0 coming through with a couple of ultimates still available as well, including now Duboy's Rocket Barrage. Oh, nice. Nami. The headshot onto D-Field. Finds the second one onto Quad J. Actually having a pretty good day here on the Ash. Still not requiring this bomb. You'd expect would come out in the next battle, potentially. Ground 0 Gaming making up, I think, a little bit for some of the struggle they had the first time around.
Yeah, they certainly are. I mean, Athletico aren't going to have an easy time of defending this one. Transcendence is there, that's for sure, but what does Athletico have that can actually really put the damage into Ground 0 at this point? I mean, no whole hog. Blizzard's not going to be there to lock them up, so that's difficult. And Rocket Barrage for Duboy. He was looking.
Nice. Love it. Bob does come out, but Duboy's gone down to the hook. And the Orisa left click. And it looked like this, to me, was going to be a fight that was going to go in favour of Ground 0 Gaming.
Probably should have, but Duboy's not able to get the Rocket Barrage off. That's a nice pick, though, from Dalsu onto Wuvo. Gus also finding Goobs, and now all of a sudden, the tables have turned. It was holdable for Athletico.
On the back of the Supercharger. There you go. 2:40 on the clock. Considering they struggled so much with the first phase of the map, Jordan, Ground 0 Gaming certainly making the best of it now. Let's see how far they can get this payload through. Can they complete Havana? Would be the first team to do so. Though, to be fair, you would have think that Legacy probably would have, perhaps, if they'd required. Oh, Duboy goes to throw out the barrage, but it gets picked off by D-Field.
That's exactly what you want to see as the defenders at this point, because if D-Field is going to be able to continue to put in work with the Widowmaker, makes life really tough for Ground 0. That said, Ground 0 are kind of winning the fight elsewhere. Wubo, really the last line of defense.
Yes.
D-Field's going to have to back away.
D-Field putting the defense in, but
I mean,
one Widowmaker. Not really enough, unfortunately.
I was waiting for you to say something else there, Ben, but it's all right.
Don't know what you're talking about, Jordan.
Neither do I.
Anyway.
This is a cheeky angle, isn't it?
It is. But it also kind of limits how effectively you can engage your opponents as well. Bob, once again, very close. Nami just needs to make a hit. There we go. TNT will do it. Bob available, ready to go, but with Dalsu down, maybe now is not the time to commit. No, never mind. Definitely committing. Who cares?
I think Bob went straight into the wall, did he? No, he's actually managed to get into the square, and Finding Design gets the kill. I don't know, that may have salvaged things for Ground Zero. A trade for the two supports.
Duboy going to be looking to get... Oh, that was huge!
That's
and now
feels bad as goobs.
Here we go. Quad J's also gone down, and Duboy 5% away from the Riptide, Jordan. Here we go. This could be enough to make this... whoever knew? Where are we going?
Breach
over
the
back.
walls.
Boom! See you later, Wuvo.
That's definitely some kind of siege engine.
Yeah. Kind of need that sort of technology here to get into the keep, but that's what we've managed to do.
42 seconds on the clock for Ground Zero. That's not bad.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Well, now the onus is then on Athletico once again, and they weren't really able to push it through Numbani, so how much faith do we have for Havana? Ground Zero have been fairly solid on the defense as well. I mean, even if you look back toward Temple of Anubis, they held Athletico all the way to just 30 seconds left. On at least the initial attack, and they themselves capped it out with 5 minutes. What does Ground Zero do on the defense here? Do we again see more of a bunker kind of a composition? It has been something that they have run. Would be...
Oh, here you go, Jordan. Don Rombatico is a rum distillery located in Havana and selling products globally. I'm not going to try and say its taglines, but they're good. It's currently run and operated by Maximilian as a front for Talon's money laundering operations and functions. It's the heart of his Cuban operations.
Yeah, that's where you can, like... I played the campaign, the most recent one that came out, where you had to push through Havana. So I guess that makes sense. You're trying to chase the... I think it was you were trying to chase him in his limousine, and he got into it and escaped somewhere into the castle, and then we finally caught him, and then all of a sudden there's this evil dude at the end, and you're like, okay, who's that? Played that one with old mate Kevin Walker.
Thanks for spoiling it, Elfishguy.
Oh, it's not even available
what
anymore.
What if it comes back out? What if they re-release it? Anyway, Duboy going to be the first one down. Wuvo coming out here once more. Love the Farah that we're seeing so far today. So much more than in previous seasons. Unless you think back to season 1 or 2. Goats killed the Farah. Now it is back. They say that Wuvo swaps across. They go swaps across and, well, anyway, never mind. I was excited for just one moment. Ground Zero losing players here, Athletico. Starting to find their way out. To be fair, kind of feels like maybe Athletico played that comp to get out. Once they're out, you can change across to something more
standard. 3-3 on both sides, although it's the Snow Goats for Athletico, the Ana Goats for Ground Zero. And why not? With Dalsu in the form that he's in, keep putting him on that. Why not? Well, Jay, what can he do? He has been so impactful for Athletico in previous weeks with the May. Really was singing his praises last week against Order.
Yeah, Mini looking for the 360 no-scope Earth Shatter. Not going to happen. Going to go down to Paso. D-Field finds his counterpart also. The Blizzard is available. Unsure if required right now from Quad J. I think they should eventually be able to find these picks, and they are.
How is this fight going for so long? Come on.
What was that, mate?
I said, how is this fight going for so long? Come on.
Come on.
Well, I think it took a long time for Athletico actually to finish Ground Zero
So here's
off.
the real question, right? I guess maybe that was the... So, like, these are the barrels, yeah.
Right.
But the distillery's here. Maybe I guess you're coming... Like, you don't necessarily store the barrels in the same place where you distill. You know what I mean? Like, it's you got a barrel house. Maybe that's
again
the
a
point.
contest Ben from Ground
Look at
Zero.
that great... Oh my goodness, the double charge coming through. Gunter, I kind of feel, I was going to say both Gunter and Design saving the day there with counteracting sound barriers. And Goob's just sitting there on top of the payload, keeping everyone alive. The kills going in favour of Athletico. They're going to get through here with a bit over a minute on the clock. And again, they've actually got a number of players up here. Let's see how far forward they choose to push.
It does cost a bit of time, though, for Ground Zero there. Or for Athletico, courtesy of Ground Zero. I mean, that extra defense, even though they lose it, that's another 30-40 seconds out of the picture. And in the grand scheme of things, that sort of adds up. Nami also had a lot of charge time building the grab in, not the last fight, but the previous one before that.
Well, there's the grab does come out. Wuvo, Paso both down. Nice little Bionade, I think, coming out from Dalsu there. And in the meantime, Gus has managed to use the defense matrix to get rid of Wuvo's Graviton Surge as well. So great defense here from Ground Zero Gaming. Still 3 minutes on the clock, heading through the distillery. But look at this room they've got to work with, Jordan.
I'm looking.
Everywhere. They can pick wherever they want to play from.
Positioning
is theirs.
Very nice indeed. Only Mini with an ultimate available, though, for Ground Zero. Yes, will be there shortly.
Nice.
Interesting.
Scoops as well. Paso throws one back, doesn't find anyone. And Paso about to go down. I think it was also potentially slept there by Dalsu. Dubois doing a ton of work also there on the brig. This is looking pretty good right now for Ground Zero. Atletico need to find a fight win.
They need to find a fight where they can actually make use of Blizzard. How difficult it's going to be to get Blizzard here when Ground Zero is kind of playing from up on the high ground. Not to mention Gust is there on the Diva, which is not really something that we saw so much last week against Atletico.
Goob's going to get found out there by Dalsu. Ground Zero going to start this fight off well. Precisely what they wanted. To be fair, the main doing a bit of work, and the Blizzard comes through. Gus has gone down. Atletico looking to turn around this fight, and maybe now is the time. Mini quite low, but saved by Gunther and the sound barrier. Great work.
That's going to really force Ground Zero back. Force Atletico back. I mean, you saw, as soon as the Diva gets demeched, we see Blizzard thrown out, but it doesn't have an effect again because Ground Zero's playing on the high ground.
Yeah, the only thing that Blizzard affected, Jordan, was the distillation process. Earthshatter going to come through. Pasto and Wuvo both hit there. Great work from Mini. Dalsu has also used the nano boost in that process. I'm not sure if it was to keep someone alive. I did not see it, but nevertheless, now only 80 seconds on the clock. Atletico, to be fair, they're going to have the better of the ultimates, but they're still running out of time.
Time is of the essence as well, isn't it? Because, a minute and 12, that's probably how long it's going to take them actually just to push the payload to point B. And then you got to push it all the way to point C as well, with time available.
Grab comes through. That's the first ulti used here by Atletico of this fight. Mini is low. Mini goes down. Dubois about to follow suit as well. This is the fight that surely Atletico is able to win. Gus has managed to bring one back. The DMAC comes through. But not before Paso does go down. Blizzard now available, but should not be required.
Job's not yet done, though, for Atletico. They have been losing fights right at the doors, right at the gate. So that's where the payload is. And Ground Zero's got heaps of time to reset themselves and make sure that they can pose a second proper defense here in Phase B of the map. And now it again comes down to do or die for Atletico. They have to cap out here, otherwise they're done. And the series is over. 3-1 to Ground Zero.
Number of big ultimates available for Atletico.
Soon for Ground Zero as well.
Yeah, well, Gus going to be the first one down, the only one really knocked down there, but it should be enough. With the DMAC comes through, the Blizzard is now safe to use.
Oh, the shatter just
big shatter
blocked.
Yeah, from Mini, but it won't go anywhere. Mini quite low, Mini picked up the beat drop by design also. Nami, got the grab, but does not want to use it, of course. The payload successfully now pushing through checkpoint B. 90 seconds on the clock.
That's not a lot at all, is it, Ben?
It is not, no.
And I think we now look at this in the same light that we looked at Order and Legacy here on this map, with Ground Zero taking the place of Order on the defense. They've got ultimates available, and Atletico really not a whole lot to play with, but they don't have much time on the attack either. They need the perfect run here into Phase C. Ground Zero, do they just take a dry fight here, try and waste some of the time of Atletico, waste some of the ultimates, save their own, and win that next fight when the timer is done? Or do they commit right here? Well, they've committed. The wall goes up, which is good, and Transcendence out from Goobs. No one dies until the self-destruct.
Yeah.
Good start to the fight for Ground Zero.
It is indeed. They're still sitting on a couple of ultis, and Paso are going to go down. Quad J, as you said, had been slept and should be the last one to get picked up. There you go. So a full wipe now. As Athletico needs to regroup. 30 seconds on the clock. They're not even going to make this in regular time, even if they get there.
No, definitely not. They're already at a time deficit. I mean, interesting as well. Wubo's thrown in the Graviton Surge in that last fight, so that was like the big ultimate that Athletico had available that you thought, okay, if they're going to make it happen in any fashion, it's going to come from this Grav, and well, now it won't, unless it's a very, very fastly built one. 10
All right.
seconds left.
The beat available here for Gunther. Only going to be Paso here with the Earth Shatter. Surely this is an unwinnable, but that's a huge shatter though! Fortunately for Ground Zero, the beat was dropped just in time. Not enough to save Mini. Will it be enough to save the fight? No! That was an absolutely massive play out of the Reinhardt here for Athletico.
Yeah, Paso again just showing up when they need it. We have been talking about him. Gus hiding under the truck. Keeps it going for a while, and that is going to be pretty big actually in the grand scheme of things.
Yep.
Does allow Ground Zero a lot more time to reset, but yeah, Paso, he's been good for Athletico these last couple of weeks. I don't know that that's enough to save the map though, Ben. Look at this.
A lot of ultis
with
though.
Mini and Gus having ults coming up. I mean, Mini and Nami having ults. Gus having it coming up. Duboy coming up as well. There's a lot there to play with for Ground Zero.
Looking for
Mini
some
not caught.
critical ultimate usage right now. The Blizzard is used. Going to force them back off the payload. Nami throws out one. Going to get caught out there by Gus, though. That's the one coming back from Wumo. Gus now 2 from 2 from pretty good captures there with the defense matrix. The Shatter still available. Mini, the last one to hold on to a Shatter, but it's not going to go anywhere. Of course, the spawn advantage in favor of Ground Zero. Gus with the self-destruct. I don't even know where that went, but it wasn't anywhere useful. Paso sitting on a Shatter of his own.
He
does
got
not
blocked by
hit
the wall?
anyone. Yes, I think maybe that's the case. There we go. Nanoboot's going to come out from Dowsu. Paso goes down. Mini almost invincible at this point in time.
That's the 360 Earth Shatter you were looking
there
for.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Ground Zero Gaming going to pick up another victory here. Another map win, and that's 3-1 for them, taking down Athletico after a bad start, an average start on Busan. Quite impressive play from them.
It's a really, really solid win from Ground Zero, and not a good feeling if you're Athletico, and maybe an even worse feeling if you are Order, knowing that you still have yet to face Ground Zero.
Yeah.
I mean, for Athletico, it does sort of end their great streak to start this season and puts them sort of back to where we kind of thought that they should be, at least in terms of, you know, going 2-1. That's probably the expectation more so than going 3-0 for Atletico after the first 3 weeks. Ground Zero also kind of puts them back to where we thought they would be because they started off so poorly, but 2 weeks in a row now, pretty solid wins. This one against a team that, you know, is definitely looking a little bit more capable than Melbourne Mavericks, and that gives you a bit more heart for Ground Zero that they're getting things back together.
Yeah, well, that's what they want, right? It's not a bad win at all, and it now keeps things a little bit interesting here. It doesn't allow Athletico to get too far ahead. They definitely wanted to make the most of this one today. But there was a lot of good plays coming out of both of these sides. And the thing to take away, at least for me, at least Atletico's back, right? At least Atletico's back in terms of this season.
Oh, yeah, that's
compared
definitely
to previous seasons. At least Ground Zero's back for this season. So there's still good things to take away for both of these teams. Yes, Atletico now aren't undefeated, but they're going to be going through with, what, 8 map wins across the 3 matches, which, to be fair, is not bad.
No, definitely not. I really like that point that you make, because for both of these two teams, last season was an absolute shocker. Atletico went out in last place. I don't think they actually got a win on the board. Ground Zero, we had such high hopes after they got into season finals as Heist. You know, with a new org, things are going to look great. And then I just sort of fell apart at the start of the season. They never really got it going toward the end, or weren't able to recapture what they had as Heist. And so now for Ground Zero, yeah, definitely a different team, but the same organization. It's definitely looking a lot better for them this season. You know, it hasn't started off too poorly. It was an average start, and now it's looking like it's been a good start. I think we've sort of transitioned. So. We've hit that next level for Ground Zero, hit the ground running, and now we're running towards that top 4 placing.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for, right? Trying to make your way through to playoffs, of course, and not only make your way through, but have an easier run. And Every map is important, and well, this could have very easily gone to a tiebreaker today as well, just like we saw the first match go. I don't know, Ground Zero, they seem to find the momentum. They got better and better as we got to the end of the day. Yeah,
look, that was definitely very close on Havana. One fight difference really could have made it Atletico's map, and then you're right, we might have been on to Nepal. But I think by and large, over the course of the series, you did see Ground Zero showing that they were the stronger team. I think they deserved the 3-1 here.
I think so too, yeah.
If we would have gone to 2-2... I don't know. I mean, I guess
back to control. Yeah,
you change your tune a little bit there, and you say maybe Atletico looks a bit more comfortable. But to me, it did feel like Ground Zero was getting the better of the majority of those fights post, obviously, Busan. And I think, yeah, the 3-3-1 is representative of how that series should have played out.
Does feel like the score we got at the end was probably a good representation of how these two teams matched up today. It's not always that case, but today I'll definitely take it. I'll also take another Macca's play of the game. A McDonald's Australia play of the game. It was Athletico Esports up against Ground Zero Gaming.
So, the best worst ultimate.
Yes. So Nami comes through with a big EMP. Wuvo picks Nami up. Gus comes through with the self-destruct, clears everyone off the point.
Gus definitely could have touched there, though. That's the disappointing thing for Ground Zero, is that if he would have walked further forward and touched the point and then remeched, he would have potentially won that. I mean, there's always the argument maybe the sleep dart comes through from Ana while the mech's coming down, and then he dies anyway.
It was literally the equivalent of coming home from work with Macca's for the boys, no one expecting it. You're like, surprise, and then you drop it on the floor.
I would probably still eat it. My floor's pretty clean. What can I say?